In the previous class, we discussed about the lighting design for the office. Today we are going to discuss about the lighting for the educational facilities, lighting design for hospitals, and the design calculations. That means how do we calculate the design for lighting purposes. Okay. So lighting for educational facilities. Educational facilities in the context of lighting refers to buildings of educational institutions from school level to the university level, covering not only the classrooms but also for the laboratories, libraries, gymnasiums, multipurpose halls, circulation spaces, etc., forming the part of institutional campus. Okay. So this chart gives the recommended illumination levels and the glares index. Okay. So for the classroom, the illuminations which is in lux is 300 and the glare index is 16. In case of lecture rooms, including the demonstration areas, the illumination level is lux, 300 lux. Reading rooms, this is 150 to 300 lux and the glare index is 19. Okay. Then for the laboratories, this is the illumination is in lux is 300 lux and the glare index is 16. For the corridors, 17 lux, 70 lux. Libraries 300 lux and glare index is 16. Auditorium for hall 70 lux, foyer for 70 lux, and stage area where we concentrate ourselves, which is 300 lux, and for the stage area there is only the glare index, which is 16. For the gymnasiums, cafeterias, and staff rooms, there are no glare index, but the illuminations are 150 lux, 100 lux, and 150 lux respectively. Okay. Now you have a question that what do you mean by the glare index? Glare index is a value that for predicting the presence of glare as a result of daylight entering on the area. Okay. So it is a predicting value which cause the presence of glare. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about the hospital lighting. Complex requirements of hospitals, both by the nature of their construction and the diverse needs of users, complicate the lighting problem. Many of the areas are highly specialized in nature. These are operation theaters, clinics, treatment rooms, and wards, where special lighting techniques and fittings will be required to achieve the desired standard of lighting, hygiene, electrical safety, reliability, and ease of maintenance. Some areas such as kitchens, office, and laboratories have the same lighting requirements as of similar areas in the other buildings. Okay. Now the complex nature of a hospital layout and its requirement introduces the conflicting considerations that have to be reconciled. For the convenience, the accommodation can be divided into 4 main parts or groups. The room occupied by the patients, for examples, wards, day spaces for the sick and visiting rooms. The special rooms, for example, operation theaters, recovery rooms, diagnostic centers, laboratories, and examination rooms. Service areas, for example, kitchen, dining rooms, sterilizing rooms, laundry, and maintenance rooms. And the number 4 or D is the administration rooms, for example, like office. Now the lighting of patient's room. For the patients in the wards, the lighting should create a cozy and pleasant atmosphere. Illumination level shall be as 100 to 150 lux. The lighting for the wards. For the patients in the wards, the lighting should create a cozy and pleasant atmosphere. It may also become necessary under certain emergencies to examine the patient in the ward itself, for which an additional examination light capable of achieving 500 to 1000 lux may be provided. Then the maternity department. Nursery lighting should be subjected to the same recommendations as for ward lighting. Lighting of rooms of special baby care should may be similar as for nurseries. The mechanical and electrical design of luminaires should take account of the high ambient temperatures and relative humidity experienced in the rooms of the special baby care suite. Now for the installations. The mounting height of the luminaires for general lighting should be determined by the geometry of the viewing angle and the provision for upward light. In wards 3-meter high and greater, it will usually be possible to suspend luminaires from the ceiling, but in wards of luminaires are recommended. It is now generally possible to light a multi-bed ward by the use of wall-mounted luminaires alone, using their indirect component for the agile. Okay. Now the lighting for special rooms. That means for operation theater, anesthetic room, and recovery room and intensive care unit. Okay. So for the operation theater, the main visual problems are the detailed examination of human tissues and organs and the manipulations of surgical instrument at the site of the operation. The size of critical detail can be exceedingly small and the contrast very low. Tile required illumination length ranges between 10,000 lux to 50,000 lux. Anesthetic room. In view of the close association of this room with the theatre proper, a general illuminations of 300 lux is recommended with provision for a spotlight which can be either fixed or portable. Okay. The general lighting should not be directly over the center of the room, but the luminaire should be designed to provide some illuminations on the ceiling. Dimming of the light may be required to enable the anesthetist to provide suitable environmental conditions. Okay. Now the recovery room and intensive care units. The presence of large quantities of other portable apparatus renders the use of portable lighting equipments undesirable. General lighting should be installed as in a normal ward with a separate system to raise the illumination level up to 400 lux for each bed independently. This should be provided over an area of 3 meter into 2 meter centered on the bed, and the luminaire design should be such as to limit the spread of adjacent beds. Okay. A dimming arrangement of the individual bed lights should be provided for. Now we are going for the design calculations. Okay. So up to this we are considered about the design considerations for the lighting. So we concluded here that we learn about the design considerations for the lighting of office, conference rooms, hospitals, teaching place, etc. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about the design calculations. A room and basic approach for calculating the lighting requirement is to divide the total light requirements of a room by light output, that means lumen, provided by a necessary to be considered in the calculation because nothing's ideal. For example, the lumen output won't be the same throughout the entire lifespan. Okay, dust deposition on lamps will also reduce their output over time. Lighting design before beginning calculations. Okay, so the first point is the room index or RI. It is based on the shape and size of the room, and it describes the ratio of the room's length, width and height, and it's usually between 0.75 to 5. So what is room index? Room index is nothing but L cross B divided by HWC into L plus B. So L is the length of the room, W is the width of the room, the HWC is the height between the work plane, that is from bench to ceiling. This formula for room index is applicable only when room length is less than 4 times the width. Okay, so there is a condition, this formula is applicable only when the room length is less than 4 times the width. Then the maintenance factor or MF. This is a ratio between the lamp lumen output after a particular interval of time as compared to when it was new. Okay, the lumen output of a light fitting decreases with the time because of aging of many of its components by internal, that is the saturation of elements, or external dust depositions. For example, maintenance factor of a light fitting used in a cool dust-free area will be better than the light fitting in a hot and dusty area. Okay, and the maintenance factor is less than, or generally less than, or if there is the environment is fine, there is no dust, no hot, then the maintenance factor may become 1. Okay, so the typical values used for the lighting calculations are, we considered MF 0.8 for the office and classroom, 0.7 for clean industry and 0.6 for dirty industry. Now we consider the another parts, that is the room reflections. Okay, the room is considered to consist of 3 main surfaces. One is the ceiling, number 2 is the walls, and number 3 are the floors. The effective reflectance of these 3 surfaces affect the quality of reflected light received by the working plane. Light colors like white, yellow will have more reflectance compared to dark colors like blue or brown. Okay. Now we are going to discuss about the another term, which is a utilization factor or UF, which is a ratio of the effective luminous flux to the total luminous flux of the light source, and it is the measure of the effectiveness of the light scheme, and it depends upon the efficiency of luminaire, the luminaire distribution, the geometry of the space, room's reflectance, and the polar curve. Next point is the space to height ratio. It is a ratio of distance between the two or more adjacent luminaires. That means distance between the center to center distance, okay, to their height above the working plane. So it is nothing but 1 by HM square root of A by N. That is, HM is nothing but the mounting height, A is the total floor area, N is number of luminaires. Okay. A normal living room requires 20 lumen per square feet. That is 215 lumen per square meter. For studying room, that means the classroom requires 300 lumen per square meter. Okay. Now we are discuss with a mathematical example. Okay. An office area is 20 meter length, 10 meter width and 3 meter height. The ceiling to the desk height is 2 meters. The area is to be illuminated to a general level of 250 lux using twin lamp, 32 watt CFL luminaires with a space height ratio of 1.25. Each lamp has an initial output, that means efficiency of 85 lumen per watt. The lamp's maintenance factor is 0.63, utilization factor is 0.69 and the space height ratio is 1.25, which I already given. Now calculate the total wattage of fixtures. So how do we find out or calculate the total wattage of fixture? This is nothing but the total wattage of fixture is number of lamp into each lamp's wattage or watt. That means here we see that twin lamp with 32 watts CFL each. That means 2 into 32, that means 64 watts. Then total lumen per fixtures. The lumen per fixtures is nothing but lumen efficiency, that means lumen per watt into each fixture's watt. That means lumen per fixture becomes, what is the lumen efficiency? That means 85 lumen per watt, that is 85 into the total wattage of fixture, that is 64, that is 5440 lumen. Okay. Now calculate the numbers of fixture. The number of fixture is nothing but required lux into room area divided by maintenance factor into utilization factor into lumen per fixture, that is 250 into 20 into 10 divided by 0.36 into 0.69 into 5440. Okay. Then the required number of fixture is 21. Now we have to calculate the minimum spacing between each fixtures. To find out the minimum spacing between each fixture, the ceiling to desk height is required, which is given that this is 2 and the space height ratio is 1.25. So the maximum spacing between the fixture is 2 into 1.25, that is 2.25 meter. Okay. Now we have to calculate the number of row fixtures required along with the width of the rooms. That is, the number of row required is width of the room divided by maximum spacing. So width of the room is 10 and the maximum spacing is 2.25. That is, the number of row requires 4. Now calculate number of fixtures required in each row. Number of fixtures required in each row is nothing but a ratio of total fixtures to the number of rows, that is 21 divided by 4. That is, the number of fixtures required in each row is 5. Now calculate axial spacing between each fixtures is nothing but length of the room divided by number of fixture in each row. That is, length of the room is 20, number of fixture in each row is 5, that is 4 meter. Axial spacing means the horizontal spacing. Okay. Calculate the transverse spacing between each row, that means the vertical spacing. Okay. That is the width of the room divided by number of fixtures row, that is 10 divided by 4, that is 2.5 meter. Okay. Now I have to draw this. So we know that the number of row for lighting fixtures is 4. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. The total length is 20 meter and width is 10 meter. Okay. So number of row for the lighting fixture is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number of lighting fixtures in each row is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Axial spacing between fixtures is 4 meter. This spacing between the fixtures of each row is 4. And transverse spacing between fixtures, that is 2.5 meter. So this spacing, that means the vertical spacing or the spacing between two rows, simply the spacing between two rows is 2.5 meter, and the total required total number of fixtures is 21, or here we see that there is a 20 number of fixture. Okay, this is approximated number. Okay, so that's all for the interior lighting. Okay.